I knew it!
It's Moon Baboon!
It's fucking Moon Baboon! So I just finished It Takes Two, and I gotta say, it was pretty good. I wasn't expecting to play this game, but my good friend over at DGamer321 invited me over to join in on his game session, and I'm glad I did because we had a really good time. This came from the same guys that made A Way Out, which I briefly played a while ago, but I couldn't really get into. I thought it was kind of slow and I didn't have a lot of time to play it, especially when you're scheduling with another person to play it. Not to mention that when the director of both these games,
fuck the Oscars, you know?
Came out on the Game Awards stage and hyped up the game so much for it to look like this, it just became a giant meme for me. But unlike A Way Out, It Takes Two has a much faster pace, and Des and I were basically speedrunning it at times. And honestly, we may consider doing a legitimate speedrun of it because of how much fun we had. This game reminds me a lot of Portal 2, where the entire game is consisted of puzzle sections with some platforming and a little bit of combat. This requires teamwork and cooperation from both players, and if you're not on the same page, you're gonna get stuck. The puzzles aren't necessarily challenging, but it's the creativity and cooperation between the two characters that I think makes it super fun. Each section also comes with a different ability to keep the puzzles fresh. One player will get a hammer to pound things while another gets a nail to throw for the hammer player to swing on. I got a gun that fired matches, which did nothing on its own, but when combined with Dez's liquid gun, caused an explosion that killed enemies. And while some abilities are admittedly cooler than others, it's not like one character got all the cool abilities. I had the ability to walk on walls at one point while Dez grew big and small, but then later on, he had the ability to rewind time while I just got to place a marker to teleport. There's also a huge variety of competitive minigames to play, ranging from whack-a-mole to button mashing, and even chess. And while I got the impression that this was more of a kid's game because of its art style and direction, this game seems more akin to teens and adults, especially with the story. The whole concept behind this game is that two parents are getting divorced and their child wishes they were able to fix their relationship and stay together, which causes the parents to shrink down into dolls and they have to cooperate with each other to get back to normal. Along the way, a pelvic thrusting book of love comes in and challenges them to work together not only to get back to their bodies, but also learn to cooperate with each other in their relationship. I didn't expect the game to have a theme like this, but honestly, I loved it. Going a bit off topic here, but divorce is prevalent now more than ever, and as someone with divorced parents themselves, I thought this game did a really good job in showing what happens in that situation, from both the perspectives of both the parents and the child. The problems that come from the parents are realistic and relatable, and the child blames herself for the divorce, which is heartbreaking, but again, something that really happens. So when they start to learn to trust each other again by the end, it really warmed my heart. Now, I don't really have any real issues with the game besides the fact that occasionally the characters will just give you the answer if you take too long on a puzzle or a particular section. We didn't notice this until about the 10-hour mark when we started screwing up a section because we were just dicking around and dying repeatedly, and after a while, it got a little annoying. Because like I said before, these puzzles aren't that difficult. It's not a hard game and we got through it fairly efficiently. I don't think we needed more difficult puzzles though, because it was just fun going through the game and seeing the creative solutions we had to go about to keep moving forward. And one last thing before we wrap up, I truly cannot express how much I loved the friend pass. A Way Out had this too, but since this game is required to have two people to play, whether locally or online, only one person needs to buy the game. This is awesome. And I wish more companies did this. Dez was the one who bought the game and invited me to play, and I had such a good time with it that I may just buy the game myself to play again with him or somebody else. You don't need to force two people to buy your game to play a multiplayer game. If the game is good enough and has the replay value, they're gonna buy it after they had such a good time with it the first time. Even if you don't like puzzles and platforming, I would still recommend picking this up if you have a friend to play with. Because I'm of the mindset that almost any game can be enjoyed more with a friend, but for games that are specifically designed to be cooperative and played with two people, I think it adds a whole new layer of fun. So with that being said, I'm going to give It Takes Two a 9 out of 10.